I watched the Lord of the Rings.
Oh, cool.
The Rings of Power.
Rings of Power. 0 out of 10. No Rings of Power yet.
There's no Rings of Power yet, but I gotta say, I am super into it.
Yeah, me too.
Like, actually, like, I was watching it and enjoying it way more than I thought I would.
To. Yeah, samesies. Honestly, I went in because we've had a lot of like disappointing fantasy TV over the last few years.
Yeah.
That my expectations were pretty low. But I think we kind of covered this last time, didn't we? We talked about it briefly.
Did we talk about it? I completely forgot.
Have you watched the 3rd episode?
Yeah. Yeah. All 3. Yeah, I'm just enjoying it. I think it's good. There's like, I'm just trying to do it without spoilers.
Yeah.
I think the world looks really nice.
It looks fantastic, yeah. The characters are mostly pretty engaging.
There are definitely like different storylines I'm more hot for than some of the others because there's a bunch going on at once.
Oh yeah, well that's it. Because if there's 4 main different threads that don't connect yet, you're going to have favourites, aren't you?
But I'm not saying like there's one that I don't enjoy, and in turn one that I wasn't enjoying as much got way more exciting. And
yeah,
so
same here. I think the one I was least interested in episode 3 got way more interesting.
And so yeah, actually been really enjoying it.
Yeah, I would recommend it to any fantasy fans. I think it also helps that I know nothing about Second Age Middle Earth. So
Yeah.
any of the changes, I'm just like, I got no idea. Like I wasn't, it's not bothering me if the wrong person's in the wrong place at the wrong time, and I might do if I was super into that.
Yeah, for sure.
But it's all just going over my head. There was one really odd bit, because the whole show is obviously extremely high budget, right? But did you think it was weird when Elrond and his mate are like, let's go see the dwarves? And like, they have to travel several hundred miles.
Yeah, I think I know exactly what you mean.
And instead of being like a big procession of like 100 attendants and camping equipment as they go on this several week journey to go it's like a state visit from the elves to the dwarves. But the fucking camera just cuts to 2 elves walking down
two guys just walking along. They don't even have horses.
No.
And they don't even have bags.
No, or coats, or cloaks, or anything. It's like they just walked out of their living room and went, oh, the dwarves.
The dwarves live literally a minute down the road. And they're like, shall I bring a jacket? It's probably fine. We'll be back in like 15 minutes. I think it's fine. Like, okay, I'll leave my cloak at home. And I just walk in there and like, it's such a
so weird.
I super get that.
Because everything else in the show seems pretty reasonable and makes sense.
Yeah.
But it's just like, hello.
Well, yeah, there's bits where other people are traveling and it's taking a long time. But yeah, they're just like walking in there. Loved it. I thought that was very funny. It was a good moment.
Yeah, it felt like a weird, like Doctor Who sort of scene. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, at least give them a horse, or like a six guard walking along with them, or anything to make it. Or give a fucking jacket. Like,
Yeah.
It was so weird.
I know what you mean. But yeah, that was a wacky moment.
Yeah, although I guess there was that one scene when an elf did ride a horse, and I didn't care for that one either.
That was weird.
It was just a bit long.
I was like, but also, how long had it been since she'd been able to ride a horse? Like a week? A few days?
1,000 years by the reaction.
But it was like, I'm pretty sure you rode a horse like a week ago. And she's like, oh, you have horse. Like, it's such a weird moment.
I know that it just had zero build-up.
Yeah. They hadn't established before that she really likes horses. It's just came out of nowhere.
Yeah, it was very sexy.
So, while watching, this isn't really like spoilers, but if you're worried about anything, just put your fingers in your ears for like 3 seconds. More than that. There is like a character who, the moment this happened, I was just like, why is no one talking more about this person?
Okay.
Because they don't even have a name. They're not even a D tier character or a D-list character.
Yeah.
So there's a point where some people are like, I have a note with a thing on it that no one has heard about this in 1,000 years. Because they're in this, like, in a library.
Oh, right. Yeah. Okay.
And
got it.
They're like, okay, right, there's like the librarian guy. Can you look this up? And he's like, okay. This thing that no one knows about, including the elves who live for thousands and thousands of years.
Yeah, this is like Galadriel's secret spy info.
Yeah. And he comes back in literally less than a minute with like, here you go, here is all the information.
The exact page.
That exactly explains everything that is going on. Boom, my job's done. I'll see you later.
Yeah, I hated that.
But how good is that guy at library work?
He's the best fucking librarian you've ever seen.
The best librarian in all of Middle-earth.
Gold star for that guy.
Like how fast he found that. Like even if you knew exactly where that was, that's a big library. Like just going and getting it. Like he beelined straight to it. Didn't have to look up anything.
Because in original Lord of the Rings, Gandalf like hears about a magic ring and then goes and spends 17 years
literally trying to find a bit of paper
on like a Wikipedia rabbit hole about magic rings.
Yeah. Where's that guy? Just fucking.
Yeah, it's Mr. Goo Gol.
Mr. Goo Gol. Oh.
The librarian.
Or not like. Is there like his name like Dewey? He's the guy who invented the like sorting system.
Yeah, and they're like, this sorting system's nonsense, Mr. Dewey. And he's like,
you're a maverick. This must be the work of Sauron. He's like, no, trust me. Look, I put little letters here. It's a way to like help sort things out. I promise you, it's great. I
filed this under creepy sigils.
Bam! Instantly.
Why do we have a sigils category?
Look, it's gonna come up one day. But yeah, that guy, he's like the standout character for me. Like just so strong, so good at what they do. It's just nice to see.
It is bothering me that there's already like an Isildur in it, but that can't be the Isildur who is.
I think it has to be because his dad's Elendil.
Yeah, but they're already too old.
No.
Like, based on my understanding, which could easily be wrong, I don't know Lord of the Rings as well as I know Warhammer, for example.
Yeah, you know how well we know Warhammer.
Yeah. But I'm pretty sure Isildur and Dad, Elendil, they're at the final battle with Sauron in the, like, the prologue to Lord of the Rings. I'm pretty sure that's, like, at least 1,000 to 2,000 years.
No.
After the point of the Rings of Power.
It's 1,000 years from the thing to the battle. I think it's only like a couple of hundred years because remember, like
I know Numenorians live longer.
Descended from him.
Yes,
and so he lives long.
Yeah, I know that everyone who lives on Numenor, they live for like 300 years or whatever it is. I don't know. They're like supermen's. And Aragorn's related to them. That's why he's like 75 in Lord of the Rings.
But maybe you hit like you look middle-aged when you're like 40, and then you just have a good solid 250 years looking exactly the same.
I
and
thought
then you
it was
just
like
mega
thousands
age.
of years away.
I don't think it's thousands. I'm pretty sure they're the same people.
I kind of hope they are, because having the same father and son combo...
it would be confusing.
It would be super confusing. Yeah. Yeah, unless maybe they're going to condense the timeline.
Probably.
Because I'm pretty sure each age is like 2,000 years, give or take. There's thousands of years per age. And we're only theoretically quite near the beginning of the second age. I don't know.
I'm not going to worry too much about it.
But then I guess they'd have to, like, every season, they'd have to do like a 300-year time jump, fire everyone who isn't an elf, get in a new cast.
Oh, God, yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I do kind of want to see more of that, of the weird interactions that you must have between mortal societies and elven societies. Well, like the elven king turns up and is like, oh, shit, your dad's dead. like last time I came, your dad was king.
Yeah,
And-
your
and-
grandfather was king. Which one are you?
Yeah, and he's like, you all look the same to me. You're like ants. Like I
Well, you
blink
wouldn't,
and
you
you're
wouldn't
dead.
get as attached.
Yeah.
You know, it'd be like going and whatever. You see a friend and you're like, "Is this? Oh, is this your dog?" And you're like, "That dog died like 40 years ago." Yeah. I have a different dog now. You're like, "Oh, okay, sure."
Okay. You're King Glondal right there, right? And he's like, well, my great granddad was King Glondal.
And weirdly, they did also name me Glondal.
I'm Glondal the Third. He's like, fine, as long as I'm talking to a Glondal, that's all I need.
Close enough. Do you have the hat? Great.
Like the elves would get more attached to like the buildings than the people. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
yeah.
the family lines, they'd start like getting super like racist about the bloodlines, wouldn't they? They'd just be like, well, this family, they've been good for the last few thousand years.
Well, yeah, I think there kind of are those sort of themes
Yeah,
sort of
that's
in the
true.
show.
I don't know. I just think it's really. I'd like to see them do more with that insane contrast.
But now that means more elf stuff.
Are you in for more creepy kid stuff instead?
Yeah. They're my favorite part. Like, really good. My favorite bit is when they're doing their, like, festival, and they have a song about, like, you stay on the path, and nobody's left behind. Now let's read our book about everyone we leave behind. I was just like, wait a second.
That was fucking. And then every time he reads out someone they left behind, the whole group is like, "We will wait for you."
It's like, you fucking didn't. You fucking did. And if someone's dead, wait, like, they go to the back. Because we're not waiting.
Yikes! The most brutal nomad society. Maybe that's what other nomad societies are like. I got no idea.
But
they seem pretty fucking heartless.
But I loved that. That you think they're like super cheerful, but actually, you know, if that's the only way they can survive, is pretty fucking ruthless.
Yeah.
I'm down for that. It's like so much darker than I ever thought it was going to go.
Yeah, it's like the opposite of the Shire.
Yeah, I'm really into it.
We
Big
will
fan.
wait for you when we're dead. That's when we'll wait.
And when they're reading out those names, and they're like, Jeff, killed by bees, and everyone starts laughing. I really want to know what happened.
He was the Macaulay Culkin hobbit.
Oh, okay, he got my girl. Shit.
Oh, one of them just got eaten by a wolf.
Yeah, just it's gonna happen.
Which, you know, if you're a hobbit, and like the wolves in Middle Earth are pretty big, and the hobbits are pretty small.
Yeah.
That's a bad time.
Yeah, like a regular person would be worried about a wolf. Hobbit, doubly so.
You are fucked.
Like, wolf bad. Yeah.
Yeah, oh man, someone in chat's got the numbers. The rings were created in the year 1600, and the battle where they chop off Sauron's fingers was 3,441.
I think,
They're just going to squish that down.
yeah.
Yeah, we can't do a 2,000-year arc in this TV show.
No, in 5 seasons, each season will be 400 years. Like, no. I don't think so.
I tell you what, though, I will take a condensing any day of the week compared to a Hobbit movie elongating.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Put that story together however you want.
Yeah,
Like,
just tell me a fantasy story. I'm happy.
I'm in. Like, I've enjoyed it so far, and there are even parts in it where I just forget that I'm even watching a Lord of the Rings. I'm just enjoying
a show.
fun fantasy times and just turning off my brain for, you know, that it's a Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, because it's such a different period. Like, it doesn't matter really, does it? There's Lord of the Rings. Like,
Exactly.
because even the characters who appear in both are essentially different people at this point.
Yeah. Yeah, that's it.
Because, you know, people change over thousands of years. Probably.
Very true.